everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are doing truck tires. The passenger tire on this truck got out of round and it was kind of bouncing around. The bad weather's coming and you don't want to have a bad front tire on a truck. You don't need a tire wreck or having a blowout. And they do a lot of driving on rural roads, not highway. So he said it's fine as a tire trailer, but for having it on the front, he got a new pair. So this one's going on. We got a recent question asking how does he break the bead, and this is the tool he uses.
Slide bar.
Now what's your mallet there? What do you call that?
We call it our wooden handled hammer.
Well, he uses that to beat the heck out of them sometimes when they don't want to go. And recently he had a tire that was really bad, and he actually had to take the front end of a narrow front tractor and drive up onto it to get it off, but it was a tractor tire, so not quite as tall as this. Right now he's just spraying some soapy water on there to help it slide off. He's got two young men assisting him today. This young man rolled the big tire up here, and this young man helped with everything else. He helped to loosen the lug nuts and get them all off. Teach these young men how to operate and run tools and handle things.
Little light, am I right, bro?
And if you haven't noticed, and you have little kids or you've got people in your family you want working, a good way to get them working is to give them work clothes. They gotta have clothes they can move around in and not worry about getting dirty. You can see Trey's nice and dirty here already today, aren't ya? And as far as getting those dirty clothes clean, I'll tell you the one thing that works best with these guys with this grease and oil and even gasoline, they get fuel on them. We pick up less oil, and it's hard to get locally, but there's a Spartan store that we can get it at, and Kroger stopped carrying it. They did have it, so you might have to just get it online. It is not the same as Pine Sol. It's not the same as Murphy's Oil Soap. But it really cleans out the clothes and gets them clean. Now, Trey's had lots of experience with doing tires. Jack's having lots of interest in vehicles and maintenance, and he wants to help restore that old truck we've got in the shop. So he's getting put more to use to turn him into a young man, because he didn't have as many years on the farm like Trey did. And this is a better use of his time than being on the internet. husband was watching a YouTube channel the other day, and the guy likes to say, this is how long this job is going to take me, or, you know, it took longer than that, or whatever. He doesn't set a time for it. He just gets into it and does it. So when you're teaching young guys, remember, have patience. You can't say it's got to be done in this time limit. And if you're having hired help around your place, maybe things can be done a little bit slower sometimes to avoid costly repairs and accidents.
Yesterday went on with that.
Maybe have Jack stand on the rim. Don't slip, Jack.
There we go.
I got it.
Yeah.
Now, you need an extra 100 pounds.
You gotta truck it into the drop center, right? That's how you get them on.
And how do you trick it into the drop center?
Get the wheel over to one side and get the bead of the tire down into the groove. Really? Want me to put it back? We might. We might need it. Yeah, we may. Hold that single string. Take that, you can take that one right out. Hand it to me, okay? See, there's a groove down here, and the tire goes inward. It gives you all this extra room right here.
Yes.
Here you go, buddy.
Piece of cake, man.
Nice. Here you go.
So this was a clean new tire. It's taking air fine. He is able to just put this on here. When it is an old tire, especially hard, if the bead doesn't set just right, he has this air blaster tank that they made out of an old air tank so that they can give it, they fill it full of air with the air compressor with the valve closed. And then he can take this directly to the tire, give it a blast of air, and it just shoots it right full of a blast.
These are a 20 ply tire, they're real heavy. There's the size if you want to put that in. Low range L.
These are a 315, 80, 22.5.
That means 20 ply rating.
Okay. And this is a Firestone. The one we took off was a Bridgestone, both made in the USA. We actually had to order them. He was looking into them online, and they weren't available to be ordered online, but it put us in contact with a local dealer of them.
These work. These are online. The Bridgestones we just took off, the 843s, they are apparently letting them sell them on eBay. Because there was none. But the Firestone FS 820, any size you're after, was on eBay. But we found them locally for cheaper.
Yeah, and they delivered them for free, so that was super nice for us.
This was a little bit heavier tire than this. This tire is 156 pounds. Quite a heavy duty tire.
And these tires were 620, 602 a piece.
With everything.
Yeah.
They're expensive, but they're big and heavy.
Yes. But they're money-making tires, so they're needed. And I need this guy to get home every day safely in one piece. Alright, we're back to the job at hand. A little issue came up, so of course I stopped filming and went and did another job while he did his repair. He had found out his frame bracket that holds the front end and the transmission right here was sheared right off. So he'd actually had that part on hand and had it here at our home shop. So we took a break for lunch and he got back to work on it and I got back to work on my shoveling out the barn. That's all done. And now he's got his steer tire back on. Now one thing I will tell you that he always does, he'll use the impact wrench and get his lug nuts back on, but he always hand tightens his lug nuts down. Then he takes it around the block for a few miles, comes back and torques them one more time. Now he's not just relying on his breaker bar here. He's got this pipe that he'll slide on the end of that breaker bar to give him more leverage. So here's the part he put on, and this is the part he took off. So if you're into truck driving, you might know a little bit about this, but he wouldn't have seen this had he not taken the tire off to do this job. And he said he felt it the other day, and he's lucky that he made it back home. Good job on that.
Wow.
So
they do that.
When you do your own maintenance on your vehicles, this is kind of the luxury of, or the pitfall, you know, he was lucky he had the part here, and luxury that, you know, he was at home, and instead of going off to work today, he's been doing most of his work at home. But it's delayed his day, so now he gets to go to work late.
Still have to do the work.
Yep. Gotta get me that donut money.
But they're not really heavy enough.
Yeah. Are they a little bit lighter duty than the original?
Well, no. They're right from Freightliner. We stock them because what happens is you don't have any cross member from here because the transmission and engine's in the way.
Yeah.
So it's empty. And then you have one, they start up again right there.
Uh-huh.
So what they do is they put that bridge piece, it's like an arch, and that kind of holds your frame together, and it goes up over the top of the transmission.
You can't see it through this.
You look through here.
I can see it, but the camera doesn't pick it up.
You look through here, you can see it.
Yeah.
There's a bridge that goes up over the top of the back of the engine and transmission, and that piece is actually thicker than the bracket. So what happens is you're twisting and turning and back and forth all these times, and finally, but this one actually just snapped in a heavy turn.
And that's original?
No. You can see we painted this one too.
Yeah.
See this?
Okay.
They come black, and Krylon makes this color blue, so that one is something we put in it ourselves later also, and it just stress cracked here, and that's
it really stress cracked.
and this one actually just broke, and I felt it. So as long as we're doing tires anyway, You can sit right here and get to it. So.
Uh-huh.
So that's better.
So that's changing the tire. That answers the question on what he uses to break the bead off of the rim. I hope it all helps you. Remember to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.